In a small coastal town in Algeria, 8 boys looked out at the sea. The water was a brilliant blue, stretching out to a horizon that seemed to hold all their dreams. These boys were all young, not even 17 years old. They lived in a world where opportunities felt scarce, where the future seemed like a path already chosen for them, and not by them. They saw the boats in the harbor, big and small, and imagined them as vessels to another life. A life in Spain, a country they had only heard about in stories and seen on television screens. Their days were filled with the normal activities of teenagers, but their minds were often elsewhere across the vast expanse of the Mediterranean. They watched as others left, some successfully, others not. For these 8 friends, the pull of a better life was stronger than the fear of the unknown. They talked in hushed tones, away from the ears of their parents and other adults who would surely try to stop them. Their bond was forged in this shared dream, a powerful unspoken promise to one another that they would not stay where they were. They felt their potential was being wasted, and the desire to escape this feeling grew stronger with each passing day. They knew the risks were enormous. The sea was a dangerous and unpredictable force, capable of swallowing boats whole. Their courage was not the absence of fear, but the conviction that their dream was worth facing that fear head-on. Their journey was not just about crossing water, it was about crossing into a new chapter of their lives. The boys knew that their plan had to be perfect, executed with precision and secrecy. They couldn't afford any mistakes. Their first challenge was finding a boat. They didn't have the money to buy one, and stealing one would attract too much attention. So, they watched the harbor closely, observing the routines of the fishermen. They noticed a small fishing boat, often left unattended for long periods. It was not the sturdiest vessel, but it was their only option. The boys pooled together what little money they had. They took on small jobs, saved their allowances, and sold a few personal belongings. It was a slow and painstaking process. Each coin they collected was another step closer to Spain. Next came the most critical resource: fuel. A boat is useless without the energy to propel it across the open sea. Buying a large quantity of fuel at once would surely alert someone. So they bought it in small amounts, from different gas stations, storing it in hidden containers. Each boy had a role. Some were lookouts. Others were responsible for gathering the money and purchasing the fuel. They communicated using coded words, and met in secret places where no one would overhear their conversations. The night they chose to leave was dark, with only a sliver of a moon in the sky. Under the cover of darkness, they moved like shadows toward the harbor. One by one, they carefully loaded their precious containers of fuel onto the small boat. With the engine started, they untied the ropes and slowly steered the boat away from the familiar shore, leaving their childhoods behind for the uncertainty of the open sea. As the Algerian coastline faded into a faint line and then disappeared completely, the reality of their situation settled in. The 8 boys were alone, surrounded by an endless expanse of dark water. There was no captain to give orders, no experienced sailor to read the waves. There was only them, a group of teenagers armed with little more than courage and a shared destination. The small boat, which had felt like a vessel of hope, now felt fragile and vulnerable against the power of the Mediterranean. Every wave that slapped against the hull was a reminder of their isolation. Hours passed and the sun began to rise, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. The boys took turns at the tiller, trying to keep the boat pointed in what they believed was the direction of Spain. They had no GPS to confirm their course, no map to chart their progress. They relied on instinct and the simple knowledge that Spain lay to the north. The sun became their only compass. But as the day wore on, the vastness of the sea became disorienting. In every direction, there was only water and sky. Fear began to creep in, a cold companion on their lonely voyage. They shared the little food they had brought. They shared the little water they had brought. Their conversations sparse and anxious. They scanned the horizon constantly, hoping to see a passing ship, or even better, a glimpse of land. But for hours, there was nothing. The journey was a profound test of their mental and physical endurance. The sun beat down on them, and the salty spray of the sea stung their faces. They had to fight off exhaustion, doubt, and the overwhelming feeling of being incredibly small in a very big world. Without any professional guidance, Every decision was a guess, a gamble with their lives. They were navigating the treacherous waters of fear and uncertainty, with only their shared hope as a lighthouse guiding them forward. After 8 grueling hours at sea, one of the boys shouted, pointing at the horizon. A faint, hazy shape grew larger. It was land. A wave of relief and elation washed over them, tears in their eyes. They had made it. They crossed the sea without a captain, without a map, without any modern technology. As the boat neared the Spanish coast, figures waited on the shore. Spanish authorities approached calmly. Officials were stunned to find only teenagers aboard. The boys were exhausted, dehydrated and scared, but safe. Authorities gave them water, food, medical attention, treated with care and concern. The boys recounted their secret planning, buying fuel, and the nerve-wracking open-water trip. Officers listened, seeing desperation, not crime. Taken into custody as a rescue, not punishment. Not sent to immigrant detention because they are under 17. Instead, they were placed in a specialized center for minors. Given shelter, food, education, in a safe environment, away from the sea and hardships left in Algeria. Their immediate future is secure. They can learn Spanish, continue their schooling, begin adapting to a new country and culture. Their journey is the first step towards safety and opportunity. However, their long-term future remains uncertain. The path is full of legal hurdles and bureaucracy. Their status may change at 18. For now, they hold the same hope that powered their boat. They proved courage and determination. They faced fear and took control of their destiny. Their story is a reminder of the lengths people go for a better life and the unyielding power of hope.